tragic. Demons appear like magic. Money long so elastic. Foreign fabrics to fashion.
I'm itching for money, cash addict. See a John in my pockets Titanic. When I get on the beat, it's Jurassic. Little niggas don't want static.
Wavy come like tsunami and drown you with the drip.
Hey guys, Editor Koo here real quick. Just before you guys watch the video, two quick things. One, yes, all I changed was the hat. It's a big deal. Second, after finishing this video, I had to recreate the entire thing because my application crashed on me. It didn't save anything. So the reason why I'm telling you guys this is I hope you guys enjoy it, and you guys better hit the subscribe button because I really didn't want to make this video over again, but I did it for you guys, so please subscribe. Thank you. Enjoy the video. If you follow me on any of my social medias, or you simply look in the background of these videos with all the Derrick Rose jerseys, or you see that I interviewed Derrick Rose before the season. But yeah, if you see all that, you would know that I'm a pretty big Derrick Rose fan. And today, I'm finally going to get into Derrick Rose's season review with my Detroit Pistons. So first, before we can get into trying to grade Derrick Rose's season, you have to look at what he was expected to be before the season. And before the season, the Pistons signed Derrick Rose to be the backup to their starting point guard, Reggie Jackson. Along with simply backing up Reggie Jackson, he was brought in to be insurance in case Reggie Jackson got hurt, and also provide a spark off the bench. The Pistons have been lacking. Hopefully, him and Luke Kennard were going to head into the season and be a 1-2 punch off the bench that other teams just couldn't handle. So now that we figured out what his expectations were before the season, we're going to talk about whether he overachieved, he underachieved, or he just met expectations this season for the Pistons. So I don't think I need to bring up too many stats for this one. I think it's quite obvious that he overachieved. He exceeded the expectations the Pistons had for him. He wasn't just the backup to Reggie Jackson. He was the major star for the Pistons on offense due to the injuries to Reggie Jackson and Blake Griffin. He started 15 games, which is more games than Reggie Jackson started for the Pistons this season before he was eventually waived and signed with the Clippers. So before even getting into his real personal play, right off the top, he exceeded the Pistons' expectations. He was looked at to just simply be a backup, and he turned out to be probably the Pistons' MVP of the season. Started more games than the guy that they thought were going to be their starting point guard, so I think that's pretty easy to say. And now we can talk about Derrick Rose's performance in and of itself, and I think it's a bit controversial, but I believe that this is probably the best season he's had since his MVP season, which is dating back all the way to 2011. This season for the Detroit Pistons, Derrick Rose will go on to average 18.1 points a game and 5.6 assists per game. Both of these averages were his highest since 2012. So just looking at the basic box score stats, this was probably one of his best scoring seasons and playmaking seasons since 2012, but this is also one of his most efficient seasons of his entire career. Derrick shot 53.5% from the 2-point range, which would rank in the 83rd percentile relative to his position across the entire league. This 2-point percentage would be a career high for Derrick, even higher than when he was MVP in 2011. Derrick shot 64% at the rim, which was in the 76th percentile relative to his position, but really what made him so lethal this year was the fact that he was just as explosive getting to the rim, but also he was just as lethal from mid-range this season. This year, Derrick Rose ranked in the 85th percentile relative to his position, shooting 46% from the mid-range. He seriously was hard to guard this season because if you went under the screen, he was pulling up for a midi, and if you went over it, he showed that he was just explosive and capable of getting to the rim and finishing over or through defenders. Just like Derrick did last year for the Timberwolves, he showed that he still has plenty left in the tank, and while he may not be MVP form, he may not be dunking over people, he can still get to the rim at will versus anybody at 31 years old, finish with the best of them, except this year, he shot one of his best percentages from mid-range and made him seriously one of the toughest guards in the league. I mean, just go ask All-NBA defender Drew Holiday and the New Orleans Pelicans how they feel guarding him.
They're clearing out the whole right side for Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose against Drew Holiday, and he's got a little mid-range. That's it. It's over. Detroit Pistons win it and got what they wanted at the end of the game.
Oh yeah, that was filthy. Derrick was also one of the main reasons why the Pistons offense wasn't at the bottom of the league. According to Clean the Glass, the Pistons ranked 21st in the entire NBA per 100 possessions on offense. When Derrick Rose was on the floor, their offense was 4.3 points better per 100 possessions. Now, I understand 21st in the league is nothing to brag home about. You're still in the bottom half of the league, but the point is that the Pistons probably would be down at literally at the very bottom of the league in points per 100 possessions. The only reason they weren't is because Derrick Rose was so great on offense and was able to carry the load the entire season. And the craziest thing about this is that Derrick was this effective and this impactful in just 26 minutes per game. he wasn't capable of playing 30 plus minutes a game until around January. So imagine what he could have done if he was allowed to play 30 plus minutes a night. If you look at his per 36 numbers to make up for the minutes that he did not play, they're the best of his career. This season per 36, Derrick Rose was averaging 25.1 points a game, which is the highest of his career, and 7.7 assists a game, which is his highest again since 2012. It just gives you an idea of just how good Derrick was for the Pistons in the limited time that he was allowed to play in the games he did play in. But that's just one of the negatives that you gotta talk about here, and that's the fact that he just can't play as many minutes as you want him to play, and he's going to miss multiple games within a season. This is especially relevant to the beginning of the season for the Detroit Pistons because Dwayne Casey used to tell us after every game, I was there in the press conference, he used to always talk about how hard it was to balance Derrick Rose's minutes because he couldn't play in no more than I believe 7-minute stretches. So while Derrick was on the floor, the Pistons would be competitive. They'd be a fun team to watch. But then you'd have to bring Derrick off the court because he just couldn't play any longer than that, and then the Pistons would falter, inevitably losing the game. In that same article that I just shared from Rod Beard from the Detroit News on December 31st, there's a quote from Dwayne Casey inside of there talking about Derrick Rose's minutes. He says, "We had a meeting this summer with the medical people and his agent and everybody to come up with a plan to help Derrick. Believe me, nobody loved Derrick more, and I wish he could play 80 minutes out of 40, but he can't. So we have to protect him from himself. It's up to the medical people, it's their decision, and it's their plan." And the last negative thing I have to say about Derrick this season is the fact that he was not able to bring the three-point shot that he had in Minnesota over to Detroit. He shot 37% with Minnesota. A lot of people were hoping that would not be an outlier season. Maybe he could bring that to Detroit. He shot 2.9 attempts per game with Minnesota. He shot 2.9 attempts a game with Detroit. Except this season with Detroit, he shot 30% from the field, or 30% from the arc, pardon me. But that's another knock on his season this year. So after all that, what would I grade Derrick Rose's season? Well, first off, I want to say I believe Derrick Rose was the Pistons MVP, and I don't think it's particularly close. Maybe if Andre stayed throughout the season, or maybe if Christian Wood did what he did throughout the full season, but from start to finish, Derrick Rose was their best player this year. He carried their offense, and he was literally one of the only reasons why people like to watch the Pistons this year. So taking everything into account, I'd have to give Derrick Rose an A-. And to keep it all the way a stack with you guys, the only reason why I didn't give him an A+, because honestly, this is his best season in my opinion since his MVP season. For Derrick himself, he has to be extremely happy with how he played this year. He played extraordinary for the Pistons. He was exciting to watch. He was fun to watch. It was just amazing what he did this year. But I had to lower down his grade because, once again, injury concerns. He couldn't play as many minutes as you wanted him to play, and also the three-point shot that he had with Minnesota did not come to Detroit. So those are three negatives that you just have to hold against him. You can't ignore those, especially the injury and the minute concerns. But seriously, outside the injury problems and the minute problems, this was an extraordinary season for him. If you just go back to the beginning of the video when I talked about the expectations had for him this year, he exceeded every expectation anybody had for him this year. Seriously, Derrick should be extremely proud of the season he had, but like I said, I had to knock down the grade because of the minutes and injury concerns. But that's all I've got for you guys today. Let me know in the comment section what your guys' grade for Derrick Rose this season is. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up down below. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. Like I said in all my other videos, and like I've said on Twitter, and like you'll see in the information down below, I'm on the road to 1,000 subscribers. I believe I've gained like 60 subscribers in like the past 4 weeks, so I appreciate your guys' support. I'm gonna stay grinding. I need your guys' help. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below. Road to 1,000 subscribers. Again, that's all I've got for you guys today. I'll see you guys in my next video when I talk about the Pistons' most exciting young prospect on the roster. Till then, I'll see you guys later. Peace out, everybody.